Alderwoman Howard, Alderwoman Hubbard, Alderwoman Murphy, Alderman Ogilvy,
Here.
Alderwoman Navarro, Alderwoman Middlebrook,
Present.
Alderman Vaccaro.
Present.
5 present, you have quorum.
Okay, we have 2 bills before us today. We've heard both these bills, I think, twice, but we're going to take some votes today. First bill before us is Board Bill 136, dealing with the definition of recreational fires. And Alderman Vaccaro, you are welcome to proceed. Thank you.
So it's been discussed a couple times, and I think I answered all the questions when people called me. We have one guy in our neighborhood who's building, well, he's in the tree trimming service, and he's building like big giant fires that shoot about 8 feet in the air. And it just defines what, you know, what you should be in, like a little fire pit or barbecue pit, that you can't burn other stuff. Rather than go through it, if you got questions, I'll try to answer them. If not, there's all these different things going on.
So in a nutshell, this gives the police an ordinance to enforce if they see a fire that
And the fire chief.
is out of hand, which we don't have right now. We have some rules in the building code, but obviously police may not be fully familiar what's in the building code, or may not feel like they've got the authority to enforce
Yeah, and the fire, when
it.
they're called the fire marshal, the fire department, there's nothing, and this just gives them something to do.
Right.
To be able to enforce.
Okay, we can go through the committee if there are questions. Alderman Boyd?
No questions.
Alderwoman Murphy?
No questions.
Alderwoman Middlebrook?
No questions.
Okay, I'm going to make a motion that we pass Board Bill 136 with a due pass recommendation.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Alderman Kennedy, Alderman Boyd,
Aye.
Alderwoman Howard, Alderwoman Hubbard, Alderwoman Murphy,
Aye.
Alderman Ogilvy,
Aye.
Alderwoman Navarro, Alderwoman Middlebrook,
Aye.
Alderman Vaccaro.
Aye, and thank you, guys.
Okay, 5 aye votes, no votes. That passes with a due pass recommendation.
Do you still need me for a quorum, though?
If you're okay with the next one, you can go back.
Okay, I didn't think they let you do previous roll anymore. But I'm fine with
If you're,
previous roll.
all right, if we've got, yeah. It's nice to ask first before we make an assumption that,
Okay, I'm
Yeah,
fine with
okay.
previous roll.
okay. All right, next up is Board Bill 26, sponsored by Alderwoman Ingrassia. Alderwoman, you are welcome to proceed.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, members of the committee. I think most of you were with us last week when we discussed this. Is really just a quick change to an ordinance we already have on the books that I passed last session. It allows for the comptroller to collect, to certify and then collect the fine instead of the collector of revenue. That was just an oversight on the part of the problem properties attorneys who drafted the original bill.
Sure, and if you could maybe remind us which original bill and where this applies, just so we're
Sure,
all
so
up
this
to speed.
applies to buildings that get administrative fines put on them by the building division. There was previously no way for us to actually collect those fines, and then a provision to put that on the real estate tax bill. So it is really law that makes it less comfortable for people who own vacant buildings to hang on to those buildings, because there is an opportunity for the city to put that money onto their real estate tax bill.
Okay, we can take questions from the committee. Alderman Boyd?
Sure. Make sure I'm clear. So we passed this, we're putting administrative fines on the properties, or we were not?
There's a collection procedure now that was enabled under state law that we didn't have before, so a lot of times the administrative fines that were being put onto properties were not able to actually be collected by the city. So there was no teeth.
And that was because we had collector of revenue and not office of the comptroller?
That's because we had no law at all. So we passed Ordinance 70737. In that ordinance, it says that the collector of revenue will certify and collect the fines, and it should be the comptroller.
So, but I'm asking, so since that ordinance was passed, we were assessing the property, right? It's just that we couldn't have it certified?
We haven't moved forward because the money was not allocated to the correct place, so the Problem Properties Division hasn't done any of the work that they could.
Okay,
We just passed it, I guess, less than a year ago.
okay. No further questions?
Okay, Alderwoman Murphy. Alderwoman Middlebrook. Okay, I'm going to move that we pass Board Bill 26 with a do pass recommendation.
Previous roll.
I hear, it's been moved and seconded. I hear a request for previous
Oh.
roll.
Oh, yeah, I'm sorry.
Are there any objections to previous roll? Hearing no objections to previous roll, Board Bill 26 is passed with a do pass recommendation. Thank you, Alderwoman. No further business being before the committee. The Legislation Committee is adjourned. Thanks.